I haven't watched Star Wars in a long time, being that the latter half of my life has been subject to such shit Star Wars movies. And there's always these things where you see and it's like, I wish that I could have known I was living in the good times while I was in them. And I really wish I could have known that those first 15 years, as glorious as they were, that those were the times in which it's like, yeah, Star Wars, hell yeah. And then 15 onwards, it's just been Star Wars mercilessly being fucked to death in every couple of years by some new interpretation that ruins everything. And, I talked earlier, a few episodes back, about how YouTube decided, you know what? We don't think you're political enough. So now you're going to be more about politics. We're going to give you a bunch of shorts about politics, and everything's going to be very, very polarizing. Well, then they decided, all right, we've, turned you into a proper weapon. We've made you polarized. We've really, really locked you in the chamber, ready to go if anything goes down. So now we have your political identity under our grasp. We might as well just, let's just attack your adolescence as well, and go towards nostalgia and everything else. It's a very powerful tool. Proof of it being a powerful tool is that I was able to go in 2015 in December in a year where I was, in a time of the year where you're already naturally happier, which is obviously why they release Star Wars and Christmas time. They're trying to just make you think it's better than it actually is. Like, oh well, yeah, fine, it's Christmas time. End of the year, you really have any worries? Just enjoy the fucking movie, dickhead. So I go see Force Awakens in 2015, and I was foolish enough to believe that wasn't a complete piece of steaming shit, which it was, and I was just so much enjoying of like, oh, that's so cool, Star Wars is back, that's so cool, Star Wars is back, that's so cool, Star Wars is back. But now that there's been, nearly a decade, the better part of a decade, to sit on it since that monstrosity came out, and after watching these things that YouTube has now brainwashed me once again to follow its fucking never-ending cycle, now that I'm, in a Star Wars thing, thinking about how cool Star Wars is, how great Star Wars is, how good the original trilogy is. And by the way, if anyone listening, or anyone in general, anyone in the entire fucking world says that the prequel trilogy sucks, fucking drop dead right now. You fucking are worthless. That's so... The fact that anyone can even think that now, especially considering how terrible the new trilogy is, or whatever, I don't know what to call it, the sequel trilogy. It's so dumb that there's a new trilogy of movies in the first place. The prequel trilogy, the original trilogy, now there's a sequel trilogy. That's stupid. It's dumb that the first is now the second, and there's a third as well, but that's actually, the third is the third, but the first is the second, and the second's the first. That just confuses everything. No, really, it's the fact that anyone who doesn't like the original Star Wars movies is out of their chair. Not the original ones. It's so confusing, you see? It used to be simple. I'm talking about the prequel ones again, but I can't because now I have to say the prequel. It feels foreign. I want to say the new ones. The new ones mean the shitty ones. The new ones are supposed to be the ones from the 2000s.
So how about from henceforth, the new ones are the prequel trilogies, and we'll just refer to the shitty ones as the shitty ones.
That works. I can deal with that. So the shitty, it's fine. The new ones are good.
Yeah.
New ones are really good.
Yeah.
All right. It's not. It's yeah. Maybe they shouldn't have cast Jake Lloyd in them. Maybe it would have been a better movie without him, and maybe his life would have turned out better not being in it. Maybe if he was just the kid from... Maybe he was just Jamie and not Anakin. He'd have a happier life and wouldn't be robbing people, whatever he's getting up to.
He'd probably still be acting. It probably wouldn't have been the same experience.
How many roles call for an ugly guy who's 5'2"? Not many. And also, he's saying shit like, I mean, it is. I've looked up, it is said he got bullied for it. That sucks. Even though I personally don't understand what school he went to, because I know for a fucking fact that my self-serving ass would have been like, this kid's in Star Wars, let me befriend him.
Yeah, I can't imagine a world where someone's being bullied for being in Star Wars. Every kid wanted to be a Jedi when Star Wars came out.
So I don't understand the whole bullying on that level. I think maybe you're just a dick and people thought you were weird. I don't know. Maybe I'm in the wrong. But more importantly, I was going to say, it's like, dude, if these kids are doing lightsaber sounds to you, fucking put your hand up, you're going to put them in a force choke.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, wait a minute, hold on a second. You're like, what, 11? You're like 7 years old, 8 years old? Fuck around with them a little bit. It's fucking... You throw your hand up, bring the hilt to school. That's not a weapon.
Exactly.
It's a hilt. Bring that to school, and they'll be like, all right, let's not fuck around this kid. Just be sure in case he actually is a Jedi. Because look, hey, we all think he's a loser, but George Lucas put him in the movie. He must be a Jedi or something.
Also, I feel like you could have just switched schools with the amount of money you got from Star Wars.
Apparently you can't. Well, fucking have a different haircut when you're at school. Dye your hair brown.
Hi, my name's it's Jake.
My name's J. Lloyd. J. Lloyd. Call me J. Lloyd, boys. I was like, all right, what's up, J. Lloyd? You see the new Star Wars? No. Big Star Trek guy. Yeah, that's a good point.
No, big Star. That's great.
That's true, man. I agree. But no, also, even on a side note, I'm supposed to be tearing apart the new ones, which I will do, and praising the new one. God damn it. I'm tearing apart the shitty ones, praising the new ones, not really acknowledging the original ones. Yeah, those are also awesome. Everyone knows those are awesome, huh?
Yeah, enough's been said.
No one
doesn't like them.
It's the new ones that everyone gives shit to. But I was going to say, remember that New York Times piece about the boy who was almost cast as Anakin, and they showed 3 kids, one who was fucking lost in the sauce, one who got cast, and one who was fucking amazing?
Yeah.
So I was thinking how much better of a world we could live in if George Lucas... Actually, I just watched a video talking about the original premise for Star Wars. Apparently, the original Star Wars Phantom Menace script was just originally called Star Wars: The Beginning.
No, Phantom Menace is way
I
better.
don't think that was the name. I think it was just his working title.
Gotcha. Okay.
But back when it was just written as Star Wars: The Beginning, apparently you didn't meet Qui-Gon until like 40 minutes into it. It was just Obi-Wan Kenobi and Padme.
Wasn't the original cut like 4.5, 5 hours long or some crazy shit?
Maybe, but that's
I
not
think
what
I think there's
got
way more of the movie.
Originally, too, like Qui-Gon was a smaller character, and you didn't meet him until later. And it was originally Obi-Wan who was procuring, which sounds weird to say, but he was the one procuring the child.
That would make a lot more sense.
So that's why he immediately had the bond instead of giving the bond to someone else, just then to shoehorn it on to Obi-Wan, who then acts like instead of being a father figure, is some sort of overbearing quasi brother.
It's weird.
Older brother figure and everything else.
It would have been a lot better if that's how it went, because the second one feels forced. So there's no, it doesn't feel like an act, especially because they recast him.
I agree.
It's really hard to get behind them being the third one. It works.
And Hayden Christensen's great, but also apparently originally they were gonna have Anakin was gonna be a little older, not like a lot older. Instead of being like 9, he would have been like 13.
How old was Hayden Christensen when the original one came out?
1 year younger than he was in life as a house.
I don't know how old he was in that. Was it like 16?
I think he was like 18 in that movie, 17 in that movie, 19, 20. The way he looks,
he would have been too old though to play the first one.
Think how he looks in that movie.
Yeah.
Gotcha. 1 year younger.
Okay, fine. Because I was gonna say it would have been interesting. There's a world where he could have played Anakin just the whole way through.
Yeah. Actually, hold on, that might be wrong. Was that 96 the first one? It wasn't 99. I'm insane.
No, I think you're right. I think 96. 95, 96. That sounds about right.
I thought that type in Phantom, and it's like, did you mean Phantom of the Opera? No, I meant Phantom Menace. No, it was 99. I was right. Okay, I didn't know.
Really? It feels like it was way earlier.
I think it was 99. I know. The point is, fucking, you put that kid in the movie. No, also, apparently, originally, he was a little older. Padme was probably the same age, and Obi-Wan was a little older as well. And apparently, there was like a love triangle sort of a thing where Padme kind of had a crush on Obi-Wan, and young Anakin had a crush on Padme. And then also they had it where, here's a huge difference too. Apparently in the original script, instead of Joe Schmo, Anakin Skywalker just bushing mashing, and just hitting random buttons and happening to shoot some shit. Like, I saved the day. Instead of that happening, I guess I'm a hero. Instead of that happening, apparently it was something to do with like they had to travel and something to do with like light speed, and they had to try to get as close as possible. Like even the computer wasn't capable of putting them that close because it would. Like apparently light speed would, like there's a chance they would just crash into the thing they're trying to get to like another ship or something. Apparently they might just crash into it because they couldn't get that close because they had to get closer just to get the element of surprise. And then Obi-Wan trusts in Anakin's ability in the Force, and Anakin actually uses the Force in the first movie, and he's able to close his eyes and like move the ship just in his mind and go flying with it. Apparently that was the thing which actually lets Anakin use his abilities in the first movie.
Cooler.
The first script sounded awesome. I'm not sure George Lucas decided to rechange
like,
everything entirely. Also, apparently Jar Jar wasn't a complete piece of shit. He was actually like he was a bit of a child like wonder, but he was more of a warrior who actually was like doing stuff.
I remember hearing that actually.
Him and Padme, apparently that back and forth between those two races was a lot more like of a contentious debate, and they learned to have respect for each other and everything else. And C-3PO was always still built by C-3PO, but apparently he didn't talk in the first one.
I feel like that would have been weird.
Apparently Anakin like later on added the fucking voice to it. But I saw the guy talking in the video saying how he actually always hated the fact that Anakin built it, and I was like, yeah, that was kind of dumb that Anakin built it.
Dumb.
I didn't really care one way or another, but it is a little ridiculous that Anakin Skywalker builds C-3PO.
And who said that they hate that looking back at it? George Lucas said that, or somebody else said that? You said someone said looking back, they kind of always hate the fact that now it's like,
so it was whatever fucking, Tweedledee was doing the video.
Got you.
Whatever YouTube decided to say is my new personality and have me consume that new person, whatever his name was.
Well, now it's kind of hard to say that the new ones are so good because that sounded way better.
What did?
The script the story you just proposed for the first movie sounds way more like it would have way more depth to it to fit the trajectory that the films should have went in the first place. Like everyone says,
oh my god! Apparently the Darth Maul scene too. I said apparently and actually like 1,000 times in this. I don't think I've ever been more cognizant of the words I'm using. So I said apparently, actually, apparently. I think I need to come with. I think I need to buy a thesaurus. Is what I need to do.
Apparently you do.
Actually, you could be right. No, the scene between Darth Maul, the fight scene between Darth Maul and Obi-Wan Kenobi. I know, it's the fight scene between Darth Maul and Obi-Wan, according to this video, was actually way longer in its first. What?
You just said actually.
Fuck. Shit. The fight scene between Darth Maul and Obi-Wan Kenobi in The Phantom Menace, according to the video that I first watched, was in fact greater in scale originally, or scope, where it was a much grander fight, much longer.
Are you talking about the main fight at the end, or like the first
When he
encounter
cuts him
they
out,
have?
when he cuts him in half.
Okay.
Apparently that scene was like a way, way, way cooler and more like...
It's pretty fucking awesome as it is.
Apparently it was more... The guy didn't really give details. He kind of just said how it was more like a chess match with every move being checkmate.
Yeah, that sounds really lame in those
It was really
terms.
cool. It sounded actually really... It was actually really
That
badass.
doesn't sound like...
That actually super cool when he said it.
Do you think it would have been cooler if Darth Maul talked like he supposed to did in the script?
No.
I agree. I think it's better that he doesn't speak at all.
I do not agree with that. I agree with you. I do not agree with the idea he should talk more. I think he should talk even less. I don't think he should talk at all.
I mean, it's dumb to cast that guy because that guy does have an amazing voice, but still.
There should be a scene where he goes to talk, or where someone goes to talk to him like he gets captured or something, and they're like, speak! And he just fucking does like a... You know the Asian guy in Wild Hogs who fights Martin Lawrence?
Yeah, the jet guy.
And he does that.
Yep,
the eyes out and the tongue out. I feel like Darth Maul should just looked with his eyes all bugged out at them and opened up his mouth, and there should have been no tongue in there.
That would be pretty sick. But that would ruin, I guess, all the spin-off stuff where he talks and they go to his backstory.
You think I give a flying fuck about those? Who gives a rat's ass? Flying rat's ass.
That'd be wild to see.
Who the fuck gives anything? Who gives any shit about that? That's a hard... Oh, it could potentially ruin the spin-offs. Okay, then they would incorporate that differently. Those things came out afterwards. Wow. Someone would have to steal from George Lucas in a different way. How could he sleep at night knowing that they'd have a harder time stealing from him and changing his words around? That's crazy.
Point. That's a good point, I guess. It's not really that concerned.
Such a bonkers thing to even comprehend. Wow, you're right. What a great argument. What a great counterpoint. Darth Maul shouldn't be cooler because it'd make it harder for others to use him in things.
Did you see anything that was different about the second one?
How would Sam Witwer's career survive without being able to play Darth Maul and all those spin-offs?
And being the guy in the tank in Walking Dead for that one episode.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that was before he realized his acting career on screen just wasn't going to be a thing. He's like, well, I gave it one last chance. I had a show on A&E, and it just didn't really work out. Apparently, being human, it wasn't enough for me to be.
But Frank Darabont liked it enough to say, you're going to be in the first episode, we're going to revisit you back a year later so we can do a more in-depth thing. You're your whole own episode where you're the lead of. But Frank Darabont didn't stop doing shit after Walking Dead. Like, has he been in anything Frank Darabont's done?
I don't think Frank Darabont's done much at all.
He did that awesome Mob City thing.
Oh my god, that was
I don't think
something no one ever watched.
Is that on him, though? Is that just because...
What do you expect, really?
I mean, come on, dude.
Frank, he should have just made another zombie show and really just like been petty and just went up against the show. And he should have gone to like HBO and said, "Hey, let's do this thing. Let's fuck AMC out of existence."
That's true. There's nothing stopping him because the tank storyline.
No, his entire career is you go. Let's just do his 2000s. First thing he did in the 2000s was The Mist, followed by The Walking Dead 3 years later, followed by Mob City 3 years after that, followed by additional writing for Godzilla in 2014, and nothing since.
What?
Yeah.
Godzilla.
His most recent credit is still The Walking Dead because he developed it.
That's so fucked.
Yeah. What a way to.
He could have taken all the storylines because none of that shit was from the comic that he wanted to do.
The first second he has any adversity, it's like he does fucking Shawshank and The Green Mile and I guess The Mist. Those are 3 in a row. It's like bam, 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 right?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna take my talents to TV, and then it doesn't work out. He's like, all right, my entire career's over.
I guess so.
I can no longer make The Shawshank Redemption again. And to be fair, The Walking Dead, honestly, probably would have been better if it came out like 5 years after it did. Because thinking about that would have been in a landscape in which actors were realizing that TV is a good medium, right? Because 2010 is a little early for that. That's like season 2 of Breaking Bad, season 3 of Mad Men. Yeah, Sopranos came out, but it's not like The Sopranos took anyone from fucking... Like, even though Sopranos was a great thing, it's like, everyone knew James Gandolfini. No one was like, damn, why did Gandolfini pass on the summer blockbuster to do this TV show? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was, even though he wasn't an unknown,
the rest of
the
the
cast was
HBO.
unknown.
You're talking
It's
about
HBO
AMC.
and a
What the
young
fuck's
network and
AMC
everything
at the
else.
time?
Yeah. But it's like, you go 5 years down the line, I mean, don't put it on AMC since AMC is fucking horrible. But just in general, I mean, if Frank Darabont develops it on any network 5 years later and has more of an arsenal, because like he could probably go down some cooler actors. Like imagine if like fucking he starts bringing in like half of fucking Shawshank, like Clancy Brown's in it, Jeffrey Dean Munn's in it. Maybe not fucking Tim Robbins. Maybe he's too big. And Tim Robbins on HBO like 2 years later. Tim Robbins gets into it.
Yeah, Tim Robbins would have been really cool if he was playing like an Andy Dufresne type in the world of Walking Dead. That would actually really fucking awesome. Yeah, fucking, and I love the idea of Clancy Brown
as Negan. Yeah, that'd been great. Negan.
Not as Negan, someone earlier. There's a character I thought of, like not the governor for some reason.
Oh, Tim Robbins is Milton. And instead of killing Milton off immediately and wasting that character, you have him move on to the show and join the ranks.
Yeah, I'm going to say it a third time because you've not acknowledged it at any point. You said he could just went to another network and made a zombie show again to fuck Walking Dead.
Yeah, that'd been cool too.
All his stuff he was going to do for season 2 was original stuff anyway.
I know.
So there was nothing stopping him.
I know.
It's not like it was going to be the comic. He could have called it whatever the fuck he wanted. He could have called it Fear the Walking Dead. And everyone would be like, oh, this is great. This is a new thing.
Yeah, because the Walking Dead, I mean, I guess the Walking Dead's trademarked, I guess. But I was like, it's Night of the Living Dead, really. Dawn of the Dead. It's like The Walking Dead. There's not a lot of legwork going into naming these things.
Yeah, not really.
There really isn't. The Walking Dead. Wow, what'd you think of? You just think of what word can I have with the and dead in between? Let me think. How should I title this? The Talking Dead? No, that doesn't make any sense. Who would ever call anything the Talking Dead? They don't talk. That's stupid. That's a dumb thing to do. The jumping. No, they don't really jump much. The Running Dead. That's cool. That sounds tough. They're not really fast. The Meandering Dead.
I think the Running Dead sounds infinitely dumber than the Walking Dead.
It does.
You said it sounds tough.
I know. It's not.
I just wanted to clarify.
Robbie.
I know it's for the
Meandering
bit.
Dead.
That sounds so stupid.
Can
we back to Star Wars?
How do you get off of Star Wars?
I don't remember, but like, this is
all my point was I want to say is that The Walking Dead could have been made probably better 5 years later without AMC only Frank Darabont and getting a better cast in there.
Yes, probably.
Because it's like, I love the cast, but you're telling me you could have found someone better than Sarah Wayne Callies if you had a little more money?
Why would you want to find? I mean, Sarah Wayne Callies is Sarah Wayne Callies.
Sarah Wayne Callies is on Prison Break.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
That's where her career should be.
That's real highest. That's
The
like
Walking Dead should have been a lot. The Walking
Dead
Dead should have been so many leagues ahead of Prison Break. It shouldn't have had actors, shared between the universe.
That's actually a really good counter argument.
Do you really need to have fucking the guy from not Many Saints of Newark, the guy from the Boondock Saints? No, you don't. Okay, do you really need to make another character for him and have his shtick become an entire fucking oversaturated market? No, you really don't.
Well, look, here's the real question: was Norman Reedus before he became Daryl Dixon?
I don't know.
Or did
they
Daryl
say
Dixon
they made the
become
character
Norman
for him.
Reedus?
I don't even think that's true. I think they kind of created him.
I know.
And he's still like, yeah, I'm still on it. I still got Ride with Norman Reedus. I still got my spinoff coming. I saw pictures today for Maggie and Negan spinoff, and how quite ridiculous does it look? They thought, well, Negan's not the main character, so he's got to be kind of like a sexy Negan. And then Maggie, they thought, well, how can she get any sexier? So she's actually fine the way she is. But Negan's going to have like a. I'm just going to show you the photo.
Well, sorry.
Is that what you're going to say?
I don't understand how we live in a universe where the Michonne and Rick spinoff, which infinitely makes significant more sense to make if you're going to make a spinoff, than the Negan and Maggie led spinoff. But yet this universe exists where this is like all systems go and they already canceled anything more coming out of the other one.
Isn't that sexier Negan? Shirt open, little necklace, some chest hair, leather blazer on top of it.
Dude looks hot, but it looks like he's in a mob movie. Not
but why is he dressed that way?
Because he's the lead.
Well, it's been 2 years after it's apparently 2 years after wherever the shitty show ends. So it's 2 years after that. So I guess she forgave him for killing her son's father brutally in front of her. I don't know.
I guess she realized it was slim pickings, so she's like, I might as well just marinate with
Star Wars again. He's right. This episode's been kind of boring, actually. Come to think of it.
This episode was fun. Can you stop doing that, you fucking scumbag? Every episode you go, the real key to success is not to acknowledge when things are going one way or the other. Just doing the.
I always say the opposite. I always say the opposite.
Dude, you literally just said the key to success is not even acknowledging success in any form of it whatsoever. You literally said that nonstop.
Criticism's okay. I said that explicitly in the episode. I was saying the other day. That you can't ever acknowledge the fucking. You can't ever acknowledge that the episode's bad. Why not?
Because no one thought that but you. You just ruined everything. Dude,
first off, that's not true. Ruined it. So far removed from the actual truth. It's actually said you think that.
It's actually said you think otherwise. That's the actual sad
comeback.
Part.
That was cool. That was really wordy.
It almost didn't come out.
I know. Right? You struggled to even get that much out. I said something just casually, and then your response was, and you're like, yeah, I got him. I knocked that one down.
Do you remember when the trailer for Force Awakens came out?
Yes.
So in the video we just watched, he played the song, which I forgot about the song in the trailer, and he played 2 scenes that were in the trailer. At least I think they were. But then I felt chills go so far into my spine, like it broke into my spinal cord, went into my cerebral cortex, and really just accessed a fucking memory. I remembered sitting in the chair, which is funny. I gave that big detailed
at our grandparents' house.
Thank you.
That's the first time we saw the trailer.
Oddly enough, that's the only thing I couldn't remember was where the fuck I was when I saw it. I
grandparents'
remember
living
seeing
room.
the trailer. I remember getting the chills. I remember getting choked up the second he said "True or home."
No, the Yankees weren't playing. It was a hockey game, and that was when our cousin, who should be committed, had a fucking nervous breakdown about the rules in hockey and started screaming and causing a fucking whirlwind of emotions.
I would say
a
ruckus.
Yeah. Remember that?
I do.
I wish
that
for everyone
wasn't what
listening, I wish I had the
but-
details for because it was hilarious. But the funny fact is that hockey is meaningless to anyone with half a brain. So I don't remember any of the things he was talking about. He's like, oh, they can't change the rules. Rules aren't meant to be changed. But that's not really how rules work, actually.
Actually, I think a lot of people say rules meant to be broken.
And then amended. Those are these things that people might have called amendments. You know?
I remember thinking in that moment when the trailer
now.
came out. Thank you. That this is insane because Dad was.
Oh my god! Yeah, no, you're gonna say this
14
is the
years
most
old.
roundabout
Shut
way
up.
possible.
No, I'm not. I'm getting. I know. How about you shut the fuck up?
You're gonna say this in such a
No, I'm
roundabout
not.
way.
When Dad was like 14, the first one came out. He got to experience that with his dad, where his dad was a young father looking at his son.
That was 11 when the first one came out.
Close enough, okay? Then the next ones came out where I was, I think, 5 when the first one came out, 4 or
You were
5.
6.
And Dad was a young father with his young kids. And then the next ones came out where Dad's grandpa and us all got to see it. Then it's like potentially the next one come out when I have kids. This could become this amazing generational experience of Star Wars. And it's shit.
Yeah, it could be that. It may still be that because there's no way they're gonna let it die. They don't have the respect for the. No one has the respect to let something die anymore.
It's easy to say how bad it is.
And then, honestly, I miss the days where something was bad, and then everyone said, "You know what? They fucking what's it when you like." Fucking newspaper to the nose, like no, bad, bad, and then they had to live with that and say, "Wow, it sucks that that franchise ended." Like when Rocky was just Rocky 5, everyone's like, "Gosh, it sucks that the last Rocky movie sucks so fucking badly."
Yeah, after the glory that is 4.
After fucking Dolph Lundgren, we have Tommy Shithead Morrison, and then the fucking movie sucked. God, what an end to a series. But then fucking 15 years later, like, let's add Milo Ventimiglia. He was the missing piece. Let's have Rocky Balboa's son. We're gonna call it Rocky Balboa instead of calling it Rocky.
Now here's the real question. I don't like that trend that was going on for a while where they would like revisit characters and all of a sudden like when Rambo came out. What the fuck was it? I guess I'm completely wrong. I'm just being an idiot here. I just don't.
You?
Yeah, I know.
Never.
It's strange. I just really don't like the fact that
I
it's
don't think
Rocky
so.
Balboa. Just call it Rocky 6.
Call it Rocky 6, yeah. That would have
And
made
is there
more
a
sense.
Rocky 7 or it just went right to Creed 1?
Creed 1, Creed 2, Creed 3, but then Creed 3 is the first one without Sylvester Stallone in it whatsoever because they had creative differences and everything else.
So shouldn't that just be called Creed 1.0 then?
It should be called
That's confusing. Then.
Creedless Rocky.
That
No,
more sense.
Rocky-
What's his-
Rockyless
No, it should be
Creed.
called Apollo Creed. They should just did the whole Rocky
He's not named.
Balboa
I think his
thing.
name is Adonis Creed.
I didn't see it. I don't know.
That's besides the point. I'm just telling you. I don't think his name is Apollo Creed.
I feel like that's a pretty awesome name. Why would you change it? I get he's the son, but I guess that can't change that. That was actually the original movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't think that was it. I think Frank Darabont, by the way, was born in a refugee camp.
That's interesting. So Star Wars, right?
Yeah, Star Wars. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I just opened my phone, happened to see Frank Darabont there.
You want to go back to the new ones? Or you want to talk back to the shitty ones?
I don't know about any of them.
Oh, we're just done with Star Wars
I
now?
mean,
I feel like we had a
been
really
22 minutes, and the episode's been so great as it is, as you point out. So why would I even want to add any more to it?
It's great.
That's great. That's great.
You know, you make it really hard for me to want to continue doing shit. You just point out how bad it is, and it's like, okay.
I wasn't
so
even saying it was bad. I was just saying that it
Oh, yeah,
wasn't.
you're
It wasn't
right,
that
yeah.
funny.
they don't all have to be funny.
They do.
They don't have to. Be, first of all, who the fuck's to say we're even funny? People think we
Me.
sound like fucking idiots.
Not me.
Maybe the one person.
Here's
like,
the
oh,
one thing I'll say. I
finally.
thought this earlier, saying how dude, I can be such a better Star Wars trilogy. And then for a split second, I didn't doubt myself. I reevaluated my stance, and yeah, let me make that clear. I thought I could make Star Wars better, and for a split second, I did not doubt myself. I just wanted to reevaluate what I was thinking. I want to make sure I was thinking the right things. Thinking the right thoughts. That's the problem with people. They think they're things, and they think it's true instead of thinking, is that the right thing to think?
Yeah, most
Okay?
people have the wrong thoughts.
My point was, I know for a fact I can make a better Star Wars movie, and then I thought, you know what? If I didn't know that for a fact, I should never even deserve the chance to even attempt to do it, or even get the. If you don't, that's the problem. Everyone says like you have to be humbled. I don't know. If you're humbled, you're gonna think in a mindset of being a fucking loser. Like I'm not anything. I'm just a fucking wimp. And you're gonna act like a wimp. It's like if you just genuinely go into Star Wars, like people come in there like, I have to pay homage. I have to fucking blah blah blah. But if you said, I want to make it so good that everyone hates the previous Star Wars movies.
That's a really
It's gonna be the best Star Wars movie ever made.
Good.
What if you just went the Donald Trump way about it? Like, it's the best one. Nothing comes close. It's the best one's ever been made. Nothing's ever been as good. I didn't. People say it's the best one ever. I just did what I wanted to do. It's the best one ever possible. Does everyone like it?
This is true.
Just a preview. This is true. This is true. It's the best Star Wars movie ever made. I made it. It's my first time making it, and some say, really, I made it better than anyone else. George Lucas himself said it. Mine's better than his ever could be. This is
you know
true.
what Donald Trump did? He made Star Wars great again.
Made Star Wars great again. That was actually, he lost the election. He pivoted like all great companies do. He pivoted, you know. Like, oh, I thought we were going to be making this. That didn't work out. Let's make this instead. So he's like, you know what? If I can't fix Star Wars, I'm going to go to a galaxy long ago. What is it? Fuck. God damn it.
A long time ago, galaxy
far, far away. Fuck, dude.
Do you think George Lucas, because everybody originally hated the new ones, he's like, I'm just going to give it to Disney, who's been hounding me for years. Let them fuck this up. Take the big check. I was going to realize how great my
and then they're going to come crawling back to me, and then on my deathbed, I'm going to like release the. Also, the fact that he had scripts, and that's
the
like,
most offensive part of it, though.
It's like, how don't you even? And also, this is context I just said a second ago. I said you should be better than that. It's like, you're right. You should be better than that. Disney should have been like, yeah, George, please share with us every detail you have, and then they should have made it better instead of going from scratch,
or at least made the decision to say, fuck it, it's not good enough. They didn't even look at it.
Yeah, but it would have been. Huh? It would have been. I hate when people say that the new trilogy sucks. The new trilogy is awesome. Okay,
it is.
The new trilogy is great. It's fucking incredible. The original trilogy is great too. But you know what? I'll be the first one to say it. 6 is kind of whatever.
6 is lame.
And 5 is a lot better than 4. I was talking to someone the other day.
Yeah, the new trilogy is not the new trilogy. It's our trilogy.
Exactly. It's the right trilogy.
It's my trilogy.
It's my trilogy. It's my truth.
Yeah, exactly.
I was talking to someone the other day. I don't remember why. They mentioned something about sequels and that sequels are never better. I'm like, that's not really true. Sequels are better a lot of the time.
Who said this?
I don't remember.
Say their full name.
I genuinely do not remember who it was.
Because whoever is a fucking idiot.
They were. And then like, give me an example of a better sequel. And I was like, The Godfather Part 2. And they're like, give me another one. And I was like,
Aliens.
Empire Strikes. Aliens, I don't know. Aliens, I said Aliens.
Yeah, no, I guess you're right.
Aliens fun, but it's not a better movie.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry I said it. I fell into Scream 2 mode and just said what they said.
That's a worse sequel, Scream 2.
Yeah, Terminator 2 is better, though.
I said Terminator 2. They disagree with that one, saying, I prefer the first one. Like, that's stupid.
You're a fucking idiot. The first one's great, but it's not better than the second.
The second one's only good because you know the first one, and the first one makes the second one so much better.
Yeah, that's true.
The second one's a better movie than the first one is. Fuck anyone who says otherwise. Spider-Man 2 is better than Spider-Man 1.
See, I don't know. I'm on the minority with that. I never really thought the second one was better than the first one. I really just love the first one.
Attack of the Clones is better than better than Phantom Menace.
Yeah, it is.
Empire Strikes Back is better than fucking. They also disagreed with that, saying that they thought New Hope was better than Empire Strikes Back. It's like, go fuck yourself.
I mean, yeah, 4 is more fun, quote unquote, but 5 is such a better movie.
5's awesome.
5 is the perfect fucking movie.
Precisely.
5, all of 5 is what the fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi show should have been. Just from Obi-Wan's perspective.
I refuse to watch it.
I'm not going to watch it, but my point is that's what it should have been. It should have been a story.
And that says a lot when I refuse to watch something with Hayden Christensen in it. Okay.
I doubt he's actually in it though. I feel like it's gonna be like dumb fan service.
He's in a couple pictures, he's in a couple spots. He's talking.
A couple of spots.
It doesn't matter. I'm refusing myself to have the joy of seeing Hayden Christensen on my screen. You know how hard that is?
It's actually, again, we've said this before, but that actually I think puts you in line to be canonized as a saint.
Thank you. That's a sacrifice I'm making.
That's a massive sacrifice.
Unlike what movie did we watch recently where someone sacrificed themselves? Oh no, it wasn't a movie.
No,
it was The Boys. And I was like, I'm sorry. What was her name?
Queen Minerva, I think, some shit like that. Something stupid.
Maeve,
you're right. I don't know what the fuck Minerva is.
How did we look at it? Like, that's actually an incredibly racist slur you just used. And I was like, oh God, no! Hamburgers, fucking nice. Queen Maeve. She doesn't want to be a superhero anymore, so she decides to sacrifice herself and just kill herself by tackling Soldier Boy out. But then she doesn't die, and then she gets to lose her powers that she always wanted to do. So she didn't make any sacrifice. She just got what she wanted. That is what sacrificing is. You know?
No, don't they say if you sacrifice, you'll get what you want in the end?
It's actually quite the opposite usually.
I'm pretty sure.
So usually you sacrifice to give up the prospect of getting what you want.
Then what's the point of sacrificing? Fuck that, dude.
For the better good. For the greater good.
So you're telling me that your personal happiness isn't...
I'm not telling you that I would operate this way, okay? I'm telling you there's some people who would operate this way.
We call those people losers.
Those are losers. Those are the fools who we trick into thinking that there's such a thing as a better good, as if it's not all just self-serving always.
Who's to say what's the good and what's not? It's all objective.
Me. That's it.
That's objective?
The leader. The supreme leader, some might say.
Yep. Remember, Alex is the leader, Davizi.
What was that? Oh, you're right. Dude, you're so on top of things. I guess I got so engrossed in Star Wars, I forgot about, our foreign website, because for whatever reason, it's just like the American domain's not happening. Apparently I can't use I tried doing .gov. That was apparently illegal. .us, they didn't let me do. .com, they didn't let me do. .net, all .tv. Everything. Here's an interesting fact. This must be a funny podcast, not an interesting facts podcast. So I'll just forget that entirely.
Thank God. It was because it would have been a problem if for 30 seconds you weren't just trying to be funny.
Well,
Funny. How about just try to be like
You know,
me?
fine, here's
Be
the
like me
fact, alright?
for once in a while. It's
Never
not-
be funny ever.
Yeah. Okay. See how it is. Be like that. Then you can go through my fucking
For a
burn.
goddamn day.
We should probably start the next episode. 'Cause this was supposed to be a Star Wars one.
Fine.